Why is Pedro Pascal everywhere? And why is no one questioning it? Just a few years ago, most people didn't even know his name. Now, you can't scroll through your feed or walk into a theater without seeing his face. Pedro Pascal went from being a background character in forgotten shows to the frontman of billion-dollar franchises almost overnight. The Last of Us, The Mandalorian, upcoming Marvel roles, massive press tours, back-to-back film releases. He's not just busy, he's everywhere. But here's what's strange. It's not just the volume of work. It's how Hollywood seems determined to place him in everything. Studios aren't just casting him. They're building entire marketing campaigns around him. It feels less like a career rise and more like a carefully calculated rollout, like a product launch, not a human being. And fans are starting to notice. The question isn't, why is he successful? It's, why does it feel so forced? Because for all the talent and charisma Pedro Pascal clearly has, this sudden explosion doesn't quite add up. Pedro Pascal isn't just famous, he's likable. That's the brand. The internet has labeled him everything from Daddy of the Year to the internet's sweetheart. He stumbles in interviews, talks openly about anxiety, and gives off the vibe of someone who just happens to be famous, not someone who chased it. He hugs his co-stars. He laughs at himself. He gets flustered on camera. On the surface, it's charming, genuine even. But look closer, and you'll start to see something different. Consistency, not in his behavior and the narrative. Every interview, every panel, every red carpet moment feeds into the same image. Pedro the sensitive, Pedro the quirky, Pedro the emotionally complex underdog who just wants to do good work. It's not just how he acts, it's how he's packaged. Because in today's Hollywood, relatability sells. Studios don't just want stars anymore, they want safe personalities. And Pedro? He fits every checkbox. Ethnic background, political alignment, emotional openness, and most importantly, no scandals. At least not yet. But when an image feels too perfect, it begs the question, is this who he really is? Or who he's being told to be? This didn't start with red carpets or press tours. If you look back far enough, these moments have always been there, just buried under charm and charisma. One clip from a few years ago shows Pedro mid-interview, casually leaning into a married co-star, hand lingering just a little too long, smiling, whispering, playing it off like they've known each other forever, and maybe they have, but the body language doesn't lie, neither does the awkward shift in her husband's expression. Another resurfaced moment shows him joking with a friend's wife at an award show. It starts off innocent, laughing, playful, teasing, until it slides into something else, touching her arm, brushing her back, leaning close while the husband looks on, clearly uncomfortable. It's the kind of thing most people would be called out for. But here, nothing. No headlines, no questions, just more fan edits and funny captions. Because when someone has the right image, when the media loves you, moments like this aren't red flags. They're quirky. They're just Pedro being Pedro. But ask yourself, if it were anyone else, would we still be laughing? And that's the strange part. None of this behavior is hidden. It's out in the open, which leads to one uncomfortable possibility. Maybe he's not trying to hide anything because he doesn't have to. Hollywood doesn't just create stars, it creates symbols. And Pedro Pascal, he might be more than just a leading man. Some believe he's a distraction, a shiny object designed to pull focus from deeper problems. Think about it. While studios struggle with failing franchises, declining box office numbers, and internal controversies, Pedro keeps trending. Not because of the roles, because of the moments, the whisper on the red carpet, the viral interview, the quirky quote. They all get more attention than the films themselves, and that's no accident. In a media ecosystem built on clicks and distractions, Pedro's brand is the perfect smokescreen. Lighthearted, memeable, mildly controversial, just enough to keep people watching, but never enough to trigger real backlash. Every time a studio project underperforms, there he is, front and center. Every time the industry faces criticism, he pops up with a charming interview or a carefully crafted statement. It's not that he's covering for anyone, but his presence makes it easier for everyone else to fade into the background. And if things ever start to feel a little too strange, that's when the PR kicks in. The anxiety story, the emotional openness, the same narrative recycled again and again, not because it's true, but because it works. Pedro Pascal doesn't just play the hero. He embodies the Hollywood ideal. He's the perfect cocktail of representation, relatability, and restraint. A Latino actor in mainstream blockbusters. A self-proclaimed advocate for mental health. Politically aligned with every industry talking point. Not too radical, not too traditional, just right. He's what studios now crave. A personality that can be everywhere, offend no one, and check every progressive box without ever being polarizing. His support of causes is public, but not disruptive. His interviews are emotional, but never messy. His identity is fluid enough to seem edgy, but never unpredictable. That makes him untouchable. Because in today's Hollywood, image is insurance. As long as he says the right things, plays the right roles, and stays in alignment with industry messaging, the system will protect him. He won't be canceled. He won't be challenged. He'll be rewarded, promoted, elevated, and that's why you can watch him do things that would derail any other actor. And nothing happens, no statements, no apologies, no consequences, because Pedro Pascal isn't just a performer. He's a product. And right now, he's selling perfectly. For a while, nobody questioned it. Pedro Pascal was Hollywood's golden boy, charming, unproblematic, and endlessly marketable. But recently, something has shifted. Online conversations are starting to sound different. Not angry, just suspicious. The memes say it best, "There's something weird about Pedro Pascal, but I can't prove it." That sentence has been repeated across forums, TikTok videos, and Reddit threads. It's not hate, it's curiosity, a growing sense that the wholesome persona might be a little too polished, that the constant physical contact, the public flirtation, the calculated political sound bites might not be random at all, and fans are noticing the pattern. The same recycled stories about anxiety, the same vague interviews, the same relatable behavior that starts to feel rehearsed. When everything begins to look like branding, people stop believing it's real. Even those who still admire him are asking, why does he never get called out? Why is he everywhere, all the time? And why does it feel like we're not supposed to question him? The cracks are small, but they're there, and they're growing.